What is up, everyone, and welcome back to A&R Gaming. This time we have a video that I'm very excited to talk about. It's going to be about Diablo Immortal, and more specifically, a release update for it. Finally, we have some information that's looking very, very promising for it. It might be actually coming out by the end of the month or maybe just shortly after. So this is some really exciting news, everyone. Make sure to hit the bell and subscribe, of course, because we're going to be having tons of Diablo Immortal content come out. All of us over here at A&R are going to be playing it, so it's going to be a blast. So let's go ahead and talk about this image that you guys are seeing right in front of you right now. So this is from China Joy. This is a Blizzard promo for China Joy. And China Joy is a digital entertainment expo held annually in Shanghai from July 31st to August 3rd. Not very far away at all. So, as you guys probably know, NetEase is one of the biggest and most profitable Chinese gaming companies there is, and they are developing Diablo Immortal for Blizzard. So, already, as you can see at the bottom of the little promo here, you can see that they both signed off on it. They are both going to be there at China Joy for something. And also, if you look at the picture, you can see the Barbarian there in the top right-hand side is looking like it's the Barbarian from Diablo Immortal. So that's even more exciting news. So let's talk a little bit about why this makes sense for it to happen. Number one, BlizzCon is looking like it's not going to happen because of the pandemic, which isn't too much of a surprise and is honestly like the safer thing. But they are, I'm sure, because this is such a massive game and they don't want to hold it out any longer than they have to, especially since they've already pushed it back so many times before. I would be confident that this would be probably the best time that they could do it, especially since the Chinese market is so important to them. I don't know if anyone here remembers, but the controversial sightings that Blizzard took back, I think about 2 years ago now. I don't want to get into the weeds on any of that kind of stuff, but obviously through those actions, they've shown that they do care a lot about the Chinese market, and that's very important to them. This obviously will be in China, and it would be a great place for them to launch it, considering BlizzCon is looking like it's not going to happen. So let's talk about the next thing. We've seen it pushed back over and over and over again. I think originally it was supposed to be in the BlizzCon last year, but of course that didn't end up happening. And then since then, they haven't slated a date for it. It's just been pending in all of the app stores. We can see the icon, but it's all pre-release. You can't get your hands on it, and there's no date slated. So I think right now, looking at all the evidence put in place, it makes sense that we are either going to be getting an announcement for more information on Diablo Immortal, or we're going to be seeing a straight up launch of Diablo Immortal at this event. And that might be, even if it does launch there, it might be a Chinese specific kind of beta first, and then following up with a global release. So we do have to kind of prepare ourselves for that. There are ways around that to make other accounts and things like that, so you can play it in the US. We'll have a video going over that kind of stuff whenever the time comes, once we know a little bit more. But that is very important to note. And on top of all this, these companies look for advantageous times to release games, especially ones that take up a lot of time and are mobile. For this situation right now, launching it in the middle of the pandemic is actually a very good idea, because people are going to be able to have more time to access their phones and play around with so many people working remotely. So it is a wise decision for them to try to capitalize on the situation, as terrible as that may sound, just from a business standpoint, in order to garner some extra money and get people a little bit more involved in the game than they would have been otherwise, due to, you know, various life reasons, work going out and things like that. So it makes sense that this is happening. Obviously nothing is for sure. This is all speculation, but this is, I would say, the best evidence that we have of something happening that we've seen so far. You know, we know that Diablo Immortal is supposed to come out before Diablo 4. We're actually not going to be seeing Diablo 4 for, I'm guessing, about 3 years or so minimum. So this is definitely, it's about time for this to come out. It's overdue, in fact. So this is some really good evidence that we see right here. I would be very surprised if we at least didn't get a very solid update and release schedule for it at this event, if not the full release. So that is pretty much it. That's everything that we're looking at so far. This is some really, really good news for all of us that have been dying to play this game. this is one of those games that can very easily become a staple game in the mobile gaming community. So I'm very excited to get my hands on it and play it myself. I can't wait to go into more content about it. So let's just hope, everyone. Once again, this is A&R Gaming. Subscribe and hit that bell to stay up to date with our Diablo Immortal content, as well as any of our other gaming content, mobile games, things like that. Everyone here at A&R will be playing this game like crazy whenever it comes out, as I mentioned before. So we're going to have a bunch of videos dealing with all of the good stuff, including how to get onto the Chinese servers if they do indeed launch it there first. And that's it. Let's buckle up for a great ride, everyone. Thank you all so much for listening. This has been A&R Gaming. Game on.